Top-down co-op games aren't so uncommon even in this day and age. What makes Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris stand out, at least from a mechanical perspective, is that it feels like a true adventure. It has its share of combat encounters versus walking alligators, skeletons, and other meaties, but Temple of Osiris is more about navigation and puzzle solving than shooting shotguns and squishing bad guys. This is video gaming through the lens of Indiana Jones. It's best not to think how much manpower and ingenuity the ancients put into the statues, the pressure plates, and the intricate rotating platforms that make up their contraptions and booby traps. Instead, put aside human reason, raise your magic staff, and fire a laser from it. It's how the gods would have wanted it. The tone and setting may recall the serial adventures of the 1940s, but the story and dialogue will not likely get your motor revved.
The lost staff of Osiris was inside. With our prize so close, the race was on.
Carter, wait!
Ha! Not this time, Croft!
Evil God Set is your primary nemesis, but he usually only manifests as a talking Instagram filter that desaturates your screen and tells you that your recent defeat of a big boss is no big deal. Your goal is to restore the god Osiris to his former glory by finding scattered pieces of an Osiris statue, which means your narrative reward for exploring dungeons is to discover a floating foot or disembodied torso. It's a bit of an anticlimax, as is the game's overall visual fidelity when you play it on current generation consoles. The new Lara Croft is not an argument for purchasing a new system, though temple ruins coated in green mist and roaring rivers teeming with traps are the perfect stage for the mythological shenanigans. You can play on your own, and the game wisely adjusts so that you can solve puzzles on your own, not just with small environmental changes, but by giving you access to a staff that allows you to do things like raising platforms and slowing down bomb countdowns. But you miss out on the game's finest pleasures should you go solo. When friends join you, locally, online, or both, you must find new ways of dealing with obstacles. One of you flings a grappling line to a hook across a chasm, and the others cross it like trapeze artists. One of you surrounds herself with a glowing bubble so that others can leap upon it and reach higher places. Switches, levers, spiked walls, and catapults, these are the tricks of the game's trade. Temple of Osiris combines those tricks with grapple hooks, guns, and deflectable magic beams into a beautifully paced adventure that breaks up puzzles with fun but fleeting combat encounters, a few clever boss fights, and chase sequences that get the blood flowing. The puzzles aren't mind-benders, but they require just enough teamwork and communication to make solving them a pleasure, and to make you feel a little clever for having pulled it off. That's presuming you don't run into any bugs, like flames you have lit that don't appear properly on your online partner's game. Or presuming the sometimes skittery controls or invisible walls don't mess with your navigation. But what a pleasure it is to run from the god creature in alligator form that sometimes pursues you. You call out collectibles to your comrades when you see them, encouraging each other to leap onto columns and grab the jewels there while the others rush forward, simply trying to stay alive. Each new dungeon brings with it a new angle of approach, and a new chance to laugh at teammates that ignore the rules of engagement and run off, only to be impaled by a spike. The combat's also not likely to be a source of great challenge for you, that is, unless you strive for meeting the optional pre-level challenges, or seek out optional challenges in the hub area once you complete the main game, which takes about 4 hours or so. You collect currency and other doodads, and in doing so find all sorts of new weapons, amulets, and rings to equip. It's not too tough to deal with the bad guys when they appear, however, making inventory management an occasional detour rather than a deep and necessary aspect of the game. But if you're willing to let go of any hope for depth and instead seek a chunk of clever cooperative fun, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris is ready to escort you on another tomb-raiding adventure.
My little gods, have you come at last to bow before me? I owe you a great thanks. For thousands of years I was lost in the dark of Duat, but when you touched the staff, it saved